we left off because John Weiss, 2009 to 2011.
The buildings in the proposed district were erected in a period when industry was considered a major part of New York life, and the owners were proud of their contribution to the city and commemorated it by erecting handsome buildings.
John Danielle Nolan, 2007-2009.
The Otis Elevator Building with its glorious cornice adorns the east side of 11th Avenue, facing the sweeping forms of that modern monument, the Starrett Lehigh Building.
Lee Compton, 2005-2007.
These buildings join with their neighbors to offer remarkable industrial streetscapes, and the totality establishes a sense of place that is not only fine in itself, but also reinforces and supports the presence of the art galleries with excellence of design and distinctive area quality.
2003 to 2005, Chair Walter Mancoff.
This district is special in preserving a reminder that Manhattan was once a major part of the great industrial city that New York was at the turn of the 20th century.
Simone Sinden, Chair, 2001 to 2003.
Rail transport, excuse me, which was then essential to the industry, took three forms here. First, direct access by tracks in the streets from the National Trail system, most famously on 10th Avenue, with its Death Avenue cowboys riding with red flags in front of New York Central trains. And then, access more or less direct by tracks and small rail yards fed from New Jersey by the three float transfer bridges on the North River edge of the district.
1999 to 2001, Catherine Gregg.
And finally, the High Line that replaced Death Avenue with an elegant, elevated freight line just to the west that has recently become a famous symbol of a new New York. Features reflecting all three types can still be seen in the district. The great archway of the terminal stores on 11th Avenue that welcomes strings of cars from New York Central to the large curving tunnels on the interior.
1993 to 1995, Chair Ross Graham.
The corresponding arch on 12th Avenue that gave access to freight cars ferried from New Jersey to the float bridges, the High Line itself, next to the Williams Warehouse, with a platform built to be served by the elevated tracks that were to bring the trains for easy unloading.
1984 to 1986, Mary Brendel, Chair.
Really, 83 or 84.
So moved.
Other distinctive renderings of the past we have. For the square industrial chimney and visible to the north side of 25th Street, the survivor of at least three that carried smoke from the manufacturers of aluminum foil and wound wax.
Hilda Regier, 1982 to 1984.
And just outside the district in the Hudson River Park, the actual float bridge, raised and restored as a valued feature of the park that served the Baltimore and Ohio Railroad warehouse in the district at 25th Street and 11th Avenue.
And then, from time immemorial, Dick Godfrey.
There's also one very different and significant aspect of the West Chelsea It originated in a planning process and eventually came to this commission as a result of such a process.
Gail Brewer.
It is an example of including historic preservation as an integral part of planning from the beginning.
Tom Duane. Oh, two Tom Duanes together.
Oh, yes.
Perfect. We hope that the Commission's adoption of the West Chelsea Historic District, which has been crafted to include most of the significant historic buildings affected by the rezoning, could also become the starting point for developing a model for ensuring that historic preservation is included from the beginning in the planning process throughout New York City.
Manhattan Community Board 4 thus urges designation of the West Chelsea Historic District, not only for its historic and architectural importance, but also for the precedent it can offer to a more inclusive approach in planning.
Sincerely, Edward Kirkland, Van Nuys.
great letter, Ed. Perhaps the finest community board letter in the history of Western civilization. What's more, it's a better letter than even I could have written.
You've got to stay on the board, Ed. We need you more than ever.
The Treat Boys and the Jamestown Gang have joined forces to demolish Hell's Kitchen.
Yes.
And
Yes.
Bloomberg has agreed, as long as they give the Highline $200 million.
And the Friends of the Highline are taking it under consideration.
Ed, only landmark in the entire Community District 4 can save it.
But who can landmark an entire community district?
Who?
Who?
Ed Kirkland,
Superstar. Remember what you learned at bar. Ed Kirkland, preservation man. Come back and give us a helping hand. Ed Kirkland, landmark man. Come back and help us as only you can.
You've got to come back, Ed. We need you.
Ed!
Oh.
We're good. We're on page 2.
Okay. Oh,
The real Ed Kirkland.
oh, really, Kirkland? Only one thing could bring me back.
Sinking the Chelsea Pier?
But I might come back if only I could hear those songbirds sing again.
Which songbirds?
Those fabulous ones, not real songbirds, of course, like robins or wrens or the redbreast chickadee. Quite an unusual bird, not often seen in Maine before the end of winter, which comes in late June.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the tremendous, the stupendous, the fabulous Crystal!
Every time you jump and shout, I'm sure that you can work it out. And this time before you make it bad, leaving me alone and sad. Think it over. Haven't I been good to you? Haven't I been fair to you? Come back in the speaker's name before you break my heart. Come back in the speaker's name before you break my heart. Think it over. I've known your landmarking dreams. I've had them too, more than once or twice. But this angry expression worth more than my love and affection. So this time before you frown and say that it won't work out, think it over. Think it over. Come back in the mayor's name before you break my heart. Come back in the mayor's name before you break my heart. Think it over. Think it over. Sing out, please. Yeah, think it over. Think it over. Think it over.
Ed, I was supposed to get married on June 14th, but we moved the date up so I could be here tonight. I wanted to be here to celebrate Ed and to make sure he wasn't leaving Board 4. Somebody has to preserve
Somebody should have told me I was being Chris Quinn. Who better than Mr. Preservation Man himself? And what would they do without you? They wouldn't know a motion from a move or a table from a chair. I say we call the question, should Ed stay? To honor Ed, the fabulous Crystals are going to read an abridged version of what is an incredibly long proclamation. So I will start. Whereas the Council of the City of New York is proud to honor Edward S. Kirkland for his outstanding service as a longtime member of Manhattan Community Board 4 and a trusted neighborhood leader. And whereas
Ed has been an active leader of the Chelsea community for years. He was the founder and later president of the Chelsea Waterside Park Association, served as member of all the block associations, where he advised its bylaws as well as serving as a delegate to the Council of Chelsea Block Associations. Whereas
for most people, this stellar list of accomplishments would have been enough, but Ed wasn't content to keeping his interests focused only on his neighborhood. He served as a member of the board of the Historic Districts Council for 7 years, heading the committee that reviewed and testified before LPC and on applications for certificates of appropriateness for changes in designated buildings, and also served as chair of the design committee.
it is, and whereas it is with great pride and the deepest gratitude that we honor Ed Kirkland. His warmth, wit, intelligence, and dedication have made him a cherished champion of historic preservation and a hero to the residents of Chelsea and Clinton Hell's Kitchen, and indeed all of New York. He has distinguished himself in service to the community and is worthy of the esteem of all New Yorkers. Now, therefore, be it known that the Council of the City of New York most gratefully honors Edward S. Kirkland.
Why did you put it in the script?
10 words.
Thank you. I don't deserve it, but I must thank you, and I must say that to see so many people here who I've worked with and who've helped me, and once or twice I've helped them, really strikes me, and I just can't believe it. And while I'm sort of out of everything, I'm still, tomorrow I'm only going to be 87. So maybe I'll have a little strength to pesty you all again.
There's no Edward like our Edward, like no landmark we know. Everything about him is appealing, even when he's going on and on. And his knowledge really leaves you reeling, when you're feeling you're really done. There's no people like bored people, they smile when they oppose, even with a letter that they know is no. It won't pass, it's a definite no. Still they fight it like it's there, let's hope. Let's go on with our Ed. Let's go on with our
All I have to say is with the music committee, and the poet says, heard